the street lights lit this town like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it away. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it away.
Hey guys, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully you guys are having a great evening. It's been crazy trying to get a live started on StreamYard today. Apparently StreamYard decided they didn't like us today and they didn't want anyone to go live. But here we are, we made it. We made it. If you are new to the channel, my name is Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. You can call me either one. I'll answer to either one, but yeah, that's my name. So if you don't mind, we'll go ahead, we'll say hi to some people in the chat and then we'll go from there. I saw that there's actually like a few different people streaming Idaho 4 content tonight. So maybe that's where some of the other people are. If we're not as full tonight, maybe that could be it. Could be why. I just checked the live tab. And then also there's, a lot of stuff going on with the down in LA. Not down in LA, it'd be over for me, over in LA with the riots and stuff. And I know a lot of people are watching that content as well. I've heard that, I don't know how Icamil's doing it, like how he's streaming it or who he's streaming it through. I know that he's been having a lot of people over there, but I've heard that some people lost their channel because they were streaming that. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, because if he's streaming it and he's fine, I don't see why other people would be struck for that. But you never know. You never know. Also, I guess there's some other stuff going on in the world because there's a lot of stuff on my For You page that I don't usually see. I don't usually see any of that stuff. So welcome into tonight's live. Hopefully you guys are having a great, what is it, Thursday? Yeah, it is Thursday the 12th of June. Hopefully you guys are having a great June. Let me tell you, I sat at the pool the last couple of days and your girl's got her tan on. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying your days as well. So, hey, Ladybug, my day was good. I sat by the pool. Hey, Dawn. I almost went live. I'm going to do it from the pool. I just didn't know if the kids, there was a couple kids down there, they weren't being too loud or anything to me, but I didn't know how that would like the feedback would be, in the computer. And I just had my computer, but I do have wireless mics that I could take with me and I could do like a live down there. Also, there's a plane flying overhead right now, so that's cool. Hey, Nancy. Hey, Kathy. I guess we live sort of close to an airport, I guess. Hey, Dawn. How you doing tonight? Hey, Dion. And thanks for hitting the like. And if you haven't hit the like button yet, you'll like the content. So just go ahead and hit the likes. We could throw this out in that algorithm, and then we'll get to the part where you like it. And then if you don't like it, you could take your thumbs up back. How about that? How about that? So, hey, Dion. Hey, Tony. Welcome in. The notifications have been weird today. I don't think I've gotten any notifications really. I said that and my watch just like vibrated. I thought it was a notification, but it was a notification for Kirkland's. My throat is dry. Sorry. Hey, baby girl. How was your day? It has been pretty quiet. I can say that too. Yeah. I actually, I thought I had started reading this book that True Crime Lullabies got me. And I swear I was halfway through this book, right? And I thought it was the book that she got me. It wasn't. It was a different book. So I took her book that she got me down to the pool today and I started reading it. It's pretty good. I'm on like four chapters or something like that. But it's not, the chapters aren't very long. Maybe 5. So the number 3, if you have like a number after your name, it's just means that you've been active in the chat. You can get them by being active in the chat or sending super thanks or super chats is what that's what it said whenever we first started it. I think if you go to your settings, it'll tell you. Hey, Mary Beth. Hey, Adriana. How you doing, Mary Beth? Hey, Joyce. All the way from Canada. Who wants to organize my stuff for moving? That sounds like a dream to me. I would love that. Like, seriously. Adriana, then you're in the right spot because none of us can type in here. No, we're always getting something wrong. I am anyway. I'm always typing things that won't let me type it in the chat. Hey, Ryan. I don't know what's up with that. Hey, Betsy Ross. DC's granny's got it. I saw that, Aries. I just saw that. Thank you. That's what Vincent said today, too. He was like, your face got dark. And then he saw my stomach. He's like, man, your stomach got really dark. I said, I told you I've been tanning. I've been tanning. And I'm only out there for like a couple hours a day, maybe. And that's a lot for me. Oh, I'm sorry, stressful. Oh. Thanks, happy. I love the summer. I love it so much because then you don't have to wear makeup as much. Just a little bit of those glow drops in your moisturizer and you're good to go. You're good to go for the whole day. But we're going to talk about Idaho 4 tonight. There were a couple of documents that have come out. We went over some documents last night. I don't think a lot of people read through, the whole, let me see which one it was. Because I'm going to, oh, that's Kirkland's again. Dang, you really want me to be there, don't you? Wasn't the motion for independent analysis. Wasn't that? Okay. Well, anyway, but there's 2 more documents that have come out. There's a motion to seal defendant's notice of filing, amended exhibit chart. So it's just what it says. It's just kind of what I read. But I'll go over those documents with you. There's 2. They're just sealing the documents. They're sealing everything now. Basically, when we first got over to Judge Hippler's courtroom, not like right when we first got over there, but I'd say a couple months ago, he told us that he wasn't going to, after the 911 call was, put out and the text messages, he said he was no longer going to seal and redact or seal things. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Just sealed. He decided that he was going to just redact certain things if it needed redacted. And then they were going to start giving us, kind of everything that was coming out. No more sealing stuff. Well, I think they're sealing stuff again because maybe that Dateline episode. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know, but they're sealing everything again. So we'll go over that. But Bryan Kohberger's defense team, we're going to go over him, like his defense and what they're trying to come up with as a defense for Bryan Kohberger tonight. But his defense attorneys are Ann Taylor, Elisa Massif, and Becca Barlow. Jay Logston was a previous, I keep hitting the mic, a previous lawyer or attorney on his case, but he's no longer representing him. He is actively, I guess, representing Kohberger, but he's more in the background. He's just doing consulting stuff. The team is currently seeking a delay in the trial, citing recent media coverage and the need for more time to prepare. Like, we haven't had 2.5 years, A little more about the legal team. Ann Taylor is the lead attorney for Kohberger. She is a public defender qualified to handle capital murder cases. Elisa Massif is co-counsel for Kohberger, also a public defender. Becca Barlow is the San Francisco-based attorney with expertise in DNA evidence. She talked about that one before when she came in as an expert witness, and she is just now joined the team as the new attorney. So basically, he removed Jay and he replaced Jay with Becca, which I don't know why he did that. I wonder why. I wonder if it's because that was a male, or if he was just sick of Jay looking at his butt. I mean, we got a picture of it. So, he had a problem with people taking pictures of his fly, I guess. So, hey, Lord Mama. Hey, Mr. Rosebud. Welcome on in. Me too. It's happy Cappy. It's so much better than winter. Yeah, get in that pool this weekend, Ladybug. Get yourself a float. Oh, Larry says, I love laying out on my float. I was going to say, I have a float. I just need to blow it up. I ain't afraid to take my float to the pool. Out of my way. I'm getting in my float. Don't touch my hair. Don't get any chlorine on my hair. That would be bad. It'll turn green. And they said that if it's blonde, it's worse, but still. Okay. So, I think what we're going to do is we're going to do what we did last time. We're going to do the, podcast, and then we'll go through. I have a presentation I put together for you guys. I know you're so excited about that. No, but I did. I put a really nice presentation together for you guys about, what the defense is going to, use as their evidence and what they're going to try to do for Bryan and his defense. Also, we'll go over the two, sealed motions that came out. Sometimes you can read between the lines and get a little bit of some clarity. We did that the other night. A lot of people didn't scroll to the bottom of the document that came out. At the bottom of the document, it was saying what the defense planned on kind of using, like who they were bringing in for, what things. So I'm glad that we scroll here. we scroll well. I do have an article though that is going to go into all of that from yesterday. So if you weren't here for the document read, you'll be all up to date by the end of the live. Also, if you guys haven't seen, Prime Video is coming out with a docuseries over Idaho 4. And it's going to be really good. It's going to be really, really good. Now, I don't know if I can stream Prime Video, but what I was thinking is I'm working on the Discord and everything, and I know of a lot of creators that will play things in their Discord that they can't play on YouTube. So I may play it there because I do have Prime Video, so I can play it. But it has Maddie Mogan's mom in it. It has Ethan Chapin's father and his mother and his siblings. It has their friends in it so far I've seen. So yeah, it looks really good. I don't know if you guys got to see the preview they had for it, but we're going to watch it tonight. We'll watch it at the end of the live. If you get to the end of the live and you don't see that clip, it's because the music got copywritten and I took it out. So I know I'm ready to go to trial. we're going to be so ready once I play all these podcasts and I get us all ready to go. We're going to be ready to go. Well, I think we're already ready. Okay. Oh, are you kidding? Okay. I'm like, I didn't think I'd be able to find that for a minute because I have like 50 million tabs open, but that's okay. So tonight is building a defense, conclusion of season 1. So what I did was we were into season 1 and we were almost to the end, and I didn't realize that there was more. So we went over to season 2 and watched like a couple episodes. So if you're wondering why this is conclusion, it's because just trust me. I got this all figured out. Lord Mama, me too. What I think I'm going to do is I think I know what I'm doing now, kind of. And so once I'm like ready, I'm going to make sure that we're all ready to go. We're all ready to go. So I'll be in the chat with you guys. I will put some pictures up as we're watching this. I'm going to try to actually download a couple more and take out some old ones. That way we don't have the old ones in there. But this is like 28 minutes long. So let's go ahead and let's play it. But it's called Building a Defense. So after this, we're going to go through all of the, what I think they're doing to build that defense. And remember, this is from 2024. I can't remember the exact month. I'll see if I can find that out.
Student killer Bryan Kohberger was back in court today.
Here we go. Let me go back a little bit.
The accused Idaho student killer Bryan Kohberger was back in court today.
Appearing in a Moscow, Idaho courtroom for a pre-trial hearing as his lawyers prepare to defend him against 4 counts of first-degree murder and now the death penalty.
This is the Idaho Massacre, a production of KT Studios and iHeartRadio. Episode 10, Building a Defense. I'm Courtney Armstrong, a television producer at KT Studios with Stephanie Lydecker, Jeff Shane, and Connor Powell. When Bryan Kohberger walked into the courtroom on the afternoon of Tuesday, June 27th, he looked different. He carried himself differently. Flanked by his defense team, Ann Taylor, Jay Logsdon, and Alyssa Masseth, Kohberger entered the courtroom wearing a dark suit and tie with a white dress shirt. His face was clean-shaven, his hair styled with gel. Gone was the bright orange prison jumpsuit that the 28-year-old quadruple murder suspect had worn for most of his previous court appearances. In another world, the former PhD criminology student looked like he could be testifying as an expert witness for another case, rather than appearing as a murder suspect. But on June 27th, Kohberger, who was accused of brutally murdering Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Nathan Chapin, was simply in the Leda County courtroom to listen to his lawyers begin to lay out their defense and fight to keep him from being executed.
All rise. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Good afternoon, everybody. So this is State of Idaho versus Bryan Kohberger. Mr. Kohberger is in the court.
In the days leading up to this much-anticipated hearing, there was speculation that Kohberger's defense team would ask the judge to force the prosecution to provide information and documents on a wide range of topics. However, before the defense and prosecution made their presentations to Judge John Judge, he first addressed the issue of cameras in the courtroom. A month earlier, Kohberger's defense team had asked the judge to remove press cameras. They worried the continued focus on Kohberger might prejudice potential jurors against Kohberger at his trial, especially as analysts, legal commentators, and social media influencers pick apart Kohberger's body language and every blink of his eye. Yet a month after the defense made the request, the judge had not made a decision, instead opting to warn at the start of the hearing about how the media should conduct themselves and cover the courtroom.
I have deferred my decision about cameras. One of the things that's going to be really important, that is very important, is that the people with the camera and media need to follow the rules. And we've had some issues where people were pushing the envelope, particularly focusing on the tables where counsel sits. I would prefer, if you want to continue to have cameras in this courtroom, is to back off, make sure that we just have the totality of what is happening in the court, and not just focus, for example, on Mr. Kohberger's face.
With the media warned,
focus on the face and not the crotch, everybody. Do you remember when they came out with that? They said, don't focus on Mr. Kohberger's fly. Nobody was until you said that. Maybe his belt. Maybe somebody was looking at his belt, and that's why they like zoomed in, but they were not looking at that, I don't think.
the hearing turned to the defense's motions. In the days leading up to this much-anticipated hearing, there was speculation that Kohberger's defense team would ask the judge to force the prosecution to provide information and documents on a wide range of topics, from the investigation into the suspected white vehicle, to the grand jury proceedings, to cell phone data, to the FBI's DNA records. For weeks, Kohberger's defense team had been sending signals that they were unhappy with the slow pace that the prosecution had been turning over key documents. Here's defense attorney Ann Taylor.
And during the course of the last several months, there has been a lot of discovery that's been requested and a lot that's been supplied. I come here asking the court to compel discovery. I'm seeking an order directing that we receive this discovery. I'm not seeking any other kind of sanction. I don't come here saying that the prosecutor has done something wrong. I come here saying that there are things that we have a disagreement about whether I should get them or when I should get them, and we seek a court order to assist us in this regard.
Once the hearing started, defense attorney Ann Taylor limited the scope of her request to 2 single topics. First, she requested the prosecution turn over the investigative and training records for 3 specific Idaho police officers.
I wanted the Court of Counsel to be aware it's not a fishing expedition. These are real items that are really necessary to investigate this case and prepare Mr. Kohberger's defense.
Taylor argued the defense needed more information about the criminal investigation that led to Kohberger's arrest in December of 2022 and these 3 officers, since they were at the center of that investigation. Taylor said one officer interviewed a key witness at the scene of the murders, and another conducted dozens of interviews with witnesses and attended the victims' autopsies.
Your Honor, we have not asked for training records for every officer that has had anything to do with the case. I would not want to stand here and let the court think that this is an exhaustive list of the officers that we might need training records for. But these are 3 officers that we've requested them for, and the state has indicated they're not willing to get us the training records. These 3 officers are officers that have each conducted critical interviews with critical witnesses in the case, made decisions about the interviews, made decisions about evidence, and conducted other kinds of investigations. We seek their training records to understand their processes.
Taylor added that this request is not unusual, nor did she believe it was a particularly difficult request.
I have often received training records for Idaho State police officers in the preparation of other cases during the course of my career. They are imperative for us to understand the specialty in interrogating and interviewing people, and for making the decisions that they make with regard to things taken as evidence in the case, or things followed up on or not followed up on.
Leda County Deputy Prosecutor Ashley Jennings, however, responded and said that none of these officers would be called to testify at the trial, and that hundreds of officers worked on the investigation that led to the arrest of Bryan Kohberger. She said she feared this motion could become a burden for the prosecution.
Our concern with allowing training records for these few, which we can't understand why there's a substantial need for these particular ones, wouldn't open the door to us then having to go and obtain training records for these hundreds of investigative officers who've been involved, some of which are outside of our control.
Taylor pushed back on this concern and reminded the court that Kohberger was facing the death penalty.
And as the court is aware, the state has filed its notice of intent to seek death against Mr. Kohberger. These are critical, relevant materials, all of them, including the police training records. They're necessary for us to prepare and present our defense of Mr. Kohberger. They're necessary for us to do our investigation. They're necessary for us to prepare our case and our motion package moving forward. These are things that we need to have. There is a heightened standard now that the state has filed its notice of intent to seek death, and these are very relevant, critical bits of information. They are discoverable, and we're asking the court to order that they be supplied to us.
Judge John Judge said he would consider both sides of the argument and would issue a written decision at a later date. After asking the court to force the prosecution to provide the Idaho police training records, Ann Taylor also asked the judge to rule on 2 previous requests regarding FBI records. Taylor asked for records from the FBI's Cellular Analysis Survey team. The CAS team had been brought in to help process data from Kohberger's mobile phone.
These are bits of investigation that the FBI conducted that relate to Mr. Kohberger's cell phone, and the state has relied on that in their affidavit to say that Mr. Kohberger was in certain places at certain times.
The original requests for FBI cell phone data and white Hyundai vehicle information was made weeks prior.
So these are bits of information and analysis that's been done since December. We are now at the end of June. We do not have those records yet, Your Honor. They are something that's been relied upon by the state for the PC affidavit to arrest Mr. Kohberger, as well as to obtain a variety of search warrants. It's information that the state has agreed we should have, so we ask the court for an order with a deadline to get that.
Prosecution, however, insisted they had turned over everything in their possession.
We have discovered approximately about 13,000 pages of reports, 13,000 photographs, over 10,000 tips, and over 51 terabytes of audio and video information. Ms. Taylor has everything that we have. What she is seeking is a specific report from the FBI CAS team, which I have indicated to her is in its final stages of review. And we are anticipating receiving sooner rather than later. And as soon as we do, we will send that over.
Judge John Judge ruled on the spot for the defense and suggested the FBI documents relating to the cell phone data and white Hyundai Elantra vehicle information should be turned over no later than July 14th. Here's Jeff and Stephanie.
Since we haven't had a substantial update on this case in a while, there was a lot of hype for this hearing. And while it was substantial, it didn't quite have the same oomph we thought it might.
To your point, it was extremely short, just 30 minutes. For note, pretrial hearings can last anywhere from 2 minutes to 2 hours, depending upon the complexity of the case. But since there was seemingly a lot to cover, this went much shorter than expected.
Well, that could be because a lot of what we thought might get brought up didn't. Remember, 3 days after the announcement of the indictment back in May, the defense asked for 34 specific pieces of information from the grand jury proceedings. All of the transcripts, recordings, and evidence, even the jurors' names. Originally, the defense request for grand jury information was supposed to be part of the hearing on the 27th, but then it wasn't. Though it does appear that the lawyers are talking behind the scenes to try to come up with an agreement on this issue.
The other big issue that we thought was going to be part of the hearing, and this is a big one, was the defense's request for the documents related to the DNA and the FBI's effort to build out this family tree like we discussed earlier. That family tree is what led investigators to Kohberger. The state ended up asking for more time to respond, and the judge granted it.
But the issue of the DNA, how it was collected, how it was handled, and how it was used seems to be a growing issue, and it is not going away anytime soon.
So I believe there has to be a pretrial hearing in terms of determining whether or not this is good or whether it is outside the ability to say, yes, the procedure they used was proper and the eventual swab that they used for traditional DNA is admissible. That's going to be a serious, because this is a DNA case.
Since the first time DNA was used in 1987 to convict a suspect in the United States, DNA has played a major role in criminal investigations and in securing convictions. While the statistical connection between the DNA taken from the knife sheath found at the crime scene and the DNA taken from Bryan Kohberger's cheek seems very straightforward and in line with how DNA is usually used in criminal investigations, attorney and former prosecutor Stephen Greenberg says there could be a small chance this DNA evidence is not even admissible at Kohberger's trial because of the unique role the FBI played in narrowing the search down to Bryan Kohberger. Here's Stephen Greenberg.
There has to be a pretrial hearing in terms of whether or not the DNA evidence will be admissible at all because of the way they got there. There's a number of issues that come into play. Because if you remember, they tried a whole number of things before they outsourced this to the Bureau. And let's remember this, the F and FBI is federal. This is not a federal case. There's no U.S. attorney involved. This is a state prosecution in a small town in Idaho, and I'm not so sure how sophisticated the police and prosecutors are. There's a chain of custody issue because, they sent this thing out, and who knows where it went? Who knows who was using it?
Let's stop here for a break. We'll be back in a moment. After local investigators found the knife sheath cover under Madison Mogen's comforter, they checked it for DNA and found a very small amount on the button of the knife sheath. Investigators then ran the DNA through a national criminal database, but the DNA from the knife sheath did not produce any matches. Instead of giving up, the DNA information was then sent to the FBI, who passed it on to a private laboratory named Othram, which then began to look for relatives of the DNA sequence in publicly available genealogy databases. Ultimately, genetic genealogists combed through hundreds of names connected to the DNA and narrowed down the likely DNA profile to Bryan Kohberger. Greenberg says because this type of genetic genealogy method is so new and untested in the courts, the defense will likely challenge its admissibility in a pretrial hearing and will put both FBI and Othram officials under oath.
There will have to be evidentiary hearings because it's all going to go to the issue of whether the court's going to let in this evidence. The judge will have to have pretrial hearings, and these people will be on the stand because it goes to the heart of the case in terms of the issues that we've been talking about. So now they'll take the stand pretrial and they'll take the stand during the trial.
And even if the judge allows the DNA to be used in the trial, Kohberger's defense is likely to challenge it at every turn.
There were a universe of other people who came up when they did the non-traditional, the genetic. And why can't we have those names? Did they follow up on anybody other than this one defendant? So yeah, the issues, even if the judge allows it in, that will be cross-examination material for the defense. So if the main issue and the only issue by which a jury can find this guy guilty beyond a reasonable doubt is DNA, however, all they need is one juror for a mistrial. And if the judge does let it in, it's still going to be they're going to open on it, they're going to cross-examine on it, and they're going to close on it because that's the case.
The Kohberger defense team cannot challenge the DNA in a pretrial hearing until it receives all of the FBI and Othram paperwork from the prosecution. And so far, the prosecution has refused to turn over the FBI documents, claiming they don't have the information, hinting that the FBI hadn't or wouldn't turn over the information. Instead, the prosecution has asked the judge to allow for more time to respond to the defense's request. Greenberg says the delay in turning over DNA information is unusual and unlike the FBI, which has a long history of being on the cutting edge of using science to solve crimes.
Makes no sense to me. Well, let's remember this. The responsibility is the prosecutors. The FBI here was acting as an independent contractor, right? They weren't investigating the case as they would if it were a federal case. They were just asked to do this one particular task. So whoever they reported to was somebody in the prosecutor's office. It's the prosecutor's responsibility to see to it that they get all the information they need. Would the FBI actually withhold information from the people who hired them to do the lab work, that being the prosecutor? Makes no sense to me. No sense at all.
And if for some reason the FBI is reluctant and doesn't want to turn over the genetic genealogy information, Greenberg says the Bureau won't have a choice if the judge orders the information to be turned over to the defense.
Everybody who was within the jurisdiction of that court, which obviously the FBI in this case is because they put themselves into the case, the law of the case is what the judge says it is, okay? He says turn it over, they turn it over.
But with the start of the trial nearing, the clock is ticking, and every day which the defense is without this key DNA information makes the October 2nd start date for the trial more and more unlikely.
Kohberger's lawyers asked, and the judge said yes.
1 week after the June 27th pretrial hearing, Bryan Kohberger's defense team scored a small but potentially important victory. Judge John Judge ruled that the prosecution must give the Kohberger's defense team access to the training records of the 3 Idaho police investigators the defense team deemed are at the center of the investigation. The judge set a July 14th deadline, writing that the defense adequately articulated the role each of the officers played in interviewing witnesses and finding and collecting potential evidence. However, the issue of the FBI DNA documentation was still left unresolved.
It's an important victory. And the reason is, what they're going to try to prove is that either these police officers who were first on the scene were inexperienced, or that these police on the scene at first didn't follow whatever training information they were given. But the long and short of it is there's going to be a serious issue about how the crime scene was handled and how well trained these particular officers were. And obviously the judge felt this was important, or he wouldn't have ordered the turnover of this material.
Defense attorney Ann Taylor argued a week earlier at the pretrial hearing that the defense needed to better understand the methods the investigators used to exclude other suspects and to zero in on Kohberger. Stephanie and Jeff, followed by Stephen Greenberg.
Does this mean that the defense is going to go after the detectives? Are they just trying to question the motives of the detectives? It seems like such a stretch. It reminds me of the O.J. Simpson trial, for example, when they went after LAPD detective Mark Furman back in the day. Again, is this strategy or a stretch?
The defense's job is to explore every possible angle, and we don't know exactly what their strategy is yet, but this request certainly points in that direction.
All that to be said, it must be so difficult for the family members to be listening to all of the back and forth. And we just want to be clear that our hearts go out to all of them.
Is the defense going to go after the police? Well, they're not going to go after the police per se, but they're going to go after the individual officers who were responsible for being the first on this crime scene and handling evidence.
In a previous court filing, the defense tried to undermine and poke holes in the state's case against Kohberger by accusing the prosecution of not being transparent and hiding their entire case. They have also, in pretrial motions, raised issues about how investigators use the DNA sample to zero in on Kohberger. Attorney Stephen Greenberg says this is likely part of a defense strategy to attack not the final conclusions of the DNA results, but the initial process of collecting and analyzing the DNA from the crime scene.
I do believe that if the judge lets in the DNA evidence, things like this, in terms of casting doubt on how the entire investigatory process was handled, goes into this whole issue of, is the DNA any good or is it not any good? Did they purposely focus on this guy? Are there other putative defendants out there? So that is why the judge, I believe, turned it over. And I think it's an important victory for the public defender's office. Is it a good idea to go after the police? And I would say, if you're an inexperienced lawyer, yeah, you might do that. An experienced lawyer will not go after the police per se as a particular group of individuals who are responsible for taking care of our safety, but rather the particular officers who were involved.
Let's stop here for another break. One week after the hearing, as Americans across the country were celebrating the 4th of July, an eerie video was uploaded to the internet. The leaked surveillance footage from a nearby apartment complex at 1330 Linda Lane appears to capture the moments before, during, and after the grisly murders. The security camera is from a parking lot just a few hundred yards away from the 3-story house on King Road, and it is just one of several camera views investigators have access to. This video cannot be independently verified, and due to the gag order, a verification is unlikely. Though it is time-stamped Sunday, November 13th, 2022, and begins at 3:59 in the morning. Since being posted, this video has been removed countless times. Much of what appears in the footage lines up with official statements from the probable cause affidavit. In fact, the leaked video seems to validate key parts of the PCA. On an otherwise dark and quiet night, the first sign of movement in the video comes at roughly 4:05 a.m. A light, possibly white sedan pulls up on the street in front of the camera. Its headlights light up the screen. The vehicle stops for a few seconds, at least 5, before turning around and driving away. According to the probable cause affidavit, suspect vehicle 1, as Kohberger's car is described by the document, was seen on other cameras in the area as early as 3:29 a.m. The PCA says vehicle 1 makes 3 initial passes by the 1122 King Road residence. Then, during a 4th pass at 4:04 a.m., vehicle number 1 is seen unsuccessfully trying to park in front of a nearby apartment complex before turning around. This appears to be the sequence caught on the leaked video. About 90 seconds later, at 4:07 a.m., there is a sound of a short car horn, and the camera at 1330 Linda Lane again captures a vehicle driving by. This time, the vehicle does not stop and instead continues driving back towards King Road, though it isn't clear if this is vehicle number 1 and Bryan Kohberger. The PCA does not mention a 5th loop around the neighborhood. At 4:13 a.m., the camera appears to pick up the sound of a car. That could possibly be Xana Kernodle's food driver departing after dropping off her DoorDash order at 4:12 a.m. Over the course of the next few minutes, the camera picks up multiple sounds. Though none are clear, there are odd sounds and thuds. At 4:21 a.m., there is a loud sound that appears to be a car quickly moving. According to the probable cause affidavits, this sound happens at the exact time another camera angle shows suspect vehicle 1 leaving the neighborhood at a very high rate of speed. But this isn't the final sound. Roughly 2 minutes later, at 4:23, at the exact time investigators say the crime was ending, someone gets into a large dark vehicle, likely an SUV, outside of the Linda Lane security camera. First, you hear the door slamming, then the engine starting. The car leaves quickly, but by no means is it speeding away or driving recklessly out of the parking lot. So who was this person? Did they live in one of the nearby apartments? Where were they going, and where had they been? There is no mention of anyone else in the probable cause affidavit. Were they just an innocent bystander, completely unaware of the horrific murders that had just happened a few yards away? And did police identify this individual and the vehicle? Did police talk to and clear this person? Or was this individual somehow connected to the brutal murders of 4 young students with a lifetime of opportunity ahead of them? Did Bryan Kohberger have an accessory to murder? And is there DNA that can prove it? More on that.
Let me take this down. Oh, shoot, where was it? There it is. And then make me big again. Look at Matcha Chi coming in with the super sticker. Hey, Matcha Chi, thank you for that. Every time I look at that dog, I laugh. I really do. I really do. It looks like it's laughing at me. It probably is. I know. I need to find some new shows to watch. I'm always on YouTube watching stuff. Raise your hand if you're always on YouTube watching stuff. Both of my hands are raised. I'll even listen in, sometimes when I'm cleaning and stuff. It's just easier for me to have my iPad and just take it around and put it in. I have like little iPad holders around the house. So, hey, Jenna, welcome in. If you guys are just now joining us, you didn't miss much. You just missed the podcast. But other than that, I mean, you could always go back and, rewind and watch that later, or you can wait until I put it out on video. I do actually have a podcast coming out tomorrow on video for you guys. I'm not sure of which one it is. I'll tell you that later. I'll tell you that later because I don't even have it up. I have it uploaded, but I don't have the title of it. That's not good. But it's in the next one that in line that we were in our little group of podcasts that I've been putting out. I'm like a couple behind the ones that we're like up to now. So it's probably like 3 behind. But other than that, we'll go ahead and we'll keep it going. So I do have a little presentation that I put up for you guys or made for you guys. It's going to go over basically what the defense is currently focusing on. Since that was an older podcast, this will be more up to date. But the defense is currently focusing on delaying the trial, arguing that a fair trial is at risk due to the recent release of the case details and ongoing media coverage. They also argue that they need more time to complete investigations and expert evaluations. Additionally, they have expressed concerns about the potential for the jury to be swayed by inflammatory evidence. So Anne is giving it her all. She really is to get this trial postponed and indefinitely postponed. That's what she wants. That's what her 40-page filing said, indefinitely postponed. I don't like that word indefinitely. And there is, the victims in this case, even though they're not here, living right now, they do have rights. Just like the defendant has rights, they have rights. And they do have rights to what's called like a jury in a timely manner. So although he waived his speedy trial, that doesn't mean that he gets 5 years to sit there or, 10 years to sit there and not come, and meet the maker there, the judge, Judge Hippler with a P. I say that now every time because what was her name? What's her name? Megyn Kelly said that. And I was like, oh, it does kind of sound like the other. So let me get this pulled up and present it to you guys. I don't know why it's doing that. We don't want to do it like that. Oh, I have to share it with you and then do it. Okay. I don't know why it makes me do it like this, but it does. Okay. So this is what we're going to go over. Is it up? Nope. I didn't think it was. Add it to the stage and then. Okay. So this is basically what I told you just a second ago, the defense and what their plan is. So what they're going to do is first they're going to challenge the evidence, the DNA evidence. So the defense is focusing on the use of accuracy and legitimate, legality of the the DNA analysis used to connect Kohberger to the knife she found at the scene. They are likely to question the chain of custody of the DNA, the methods used to analyze it, and the statistical significance of the match. I swear my voice has been going out here lately. Investigative genetic genealogy. And this is stuff that they've already challenged and they will challenge again at trial. The defense is challenging the IgG methods used, arguing that investigators may have improperly used databases that don't permit law enforcement access. They argue that this could have led to a biased or inaccurate result, and they did go over that in one of the proceedings, and the judge wasn't really having that. He said, well, they got the result. He said that it could have been a, what was the wording used? Not breaking the law, but breaking the terms of service, which is not really breaking the law. So other DNA, the defense is seeking to introduce evidence of DNA from unidentified males found at the crime scene, suggesting the possibility of other perpetrators. They just said, yeah, we're going to offer evidence of another perpetrator. And then we haven't heard anything about that since she said that a while ago. So I'm ready to know. I'm ready to know. Okay. I like that little dog. It's cute, Monchichi. Is that a Chihuahua? Because I don't really like Chihuahuas, but that one's cute if it is. They're just yappy dogs to me. My dogs bark, but they're like big girl barks, you know? There's a dog downstairs that has a little yappy bark, but it's cute. Eyewitness testimony. The defense is likely to challenge the reliability of the surviving roommate's description of the intruder, particularly the bushy eyebrows detail, due to inconsistencies in her statements and potential intoxication. Well, she said she was drunk. They are using the actual consistencies in her statements. She didn't say anything about the bushy eyebrows in the first interview that happened right outside the house, right after they had just found, and after she finds out that there's 4 people that are dead in her home. She knew about Xana and Ethan at that point, but I don't know if they knew about Maddie and Kaylee until like the police got there. So for her to go straight there and do an interview, like I think that there's details that you might not remember at first. You're probably still in shock at that point. So presenting an alibi, driving alone, the defense plans to present an alibi claiming Kohberger was driving alone in a different location during the time of the murders. Based on cell phone location data is what they're going to use. However, this alibi is limited as his phone was turned off for the period during the estimated time of the killings. So we'll see how she tries to, spin that, work that. What's the case? You guys kidding? Did your Dale help you, Ashley? Listen to me. I'm too much in the chat tonight. I'm like, because I was telling Dale to get you. So my dog can hear me. She wants to come back in. She just left. Seeking to exclude or limit evidence, inflammatory evidence, the defense has sought to exclude crime scene photos and videos citing their potentially inflammatory nature. Past writings, the defense attempted to exclude a college essay Kohberger wrote about crime scene handling, and we have that essay. The 911 call, the defense sought to exclude the audio of the 911 call made by the surviving roommates. And they are bringing the 911 call in. They just redacted a couple things out of it, which they really didn't redact a whole lot. So, arguing for trial delays and venue changes, publicity. The defense has argued that extensive media coverage in recent media projects could prejudice the jury pool and violate Kohberger's right to a fair trial. They have used this to argue for trial postponements and a change of venue, successfully moving the trial to Boise. Now that it's at Boise, and now that's in Boise, I mean, we're going to trial. Judge, I just cannot wait for the 18th. I wish that it was the 18th. We have 6 days. That's okay. Because in 6 days, we'll find out at least if it's going to be continued or not. And I don't think it will be. I really don't. So citing autism spectrum disorder, this was one of their plays that they've put out. Now, I don't know anybody in the history of the DP that's gotten off of the DP because they had autism. It hasn't worked then, and I don't think it's going to work now. The defense has argued that Kohberger's autism spectrum disorder diagnosis should disqualify him from the death penalty. They argue that his condition could impact his ability to understand the proceedings, and his behavior in court could be misinterpreted by the jury. I don't think he really acts too out of pocket. I don't think he acts too weird, in court. He usually just sits there and stares straight ahead. Where else are you going to look? Are you going to be doing this the whole time? I mean, that would be kind of weird. I don't know. So explaining courtroom behavior, and he knows that, right? He knows these things being a criminology student. He knows how to act in a courtroom. The defense may seek to inform the jury of Kohberger's diagnosis to explain any perceived odd behavior or lack of emotional reaction during the trial. Why didn't they bring in his visual snow? Right? Like, did Anne even know about that? Was that something that she was aware of until it was like brought out by people on the internet? Do you think that Bryan told her about that? I don't know. Suggesting alternate perpetrators. So the defense has suggested the possibility of alternate perpetrators based on the presence of other individuals' DNA at the scene. They may argue that the prosecution has overlooked or failed to investigate these other DNA profiles. That might be what they're testing right now, the defense. So overall goals for the defense is to create reasonable doubt. The primary goal of the defense is to create enough doubt in the minds of the jurors to prevent a conviction. Weaken prosecution's case. The defense is focused on challenging the prosecution's evidence and highlighting potential weaknesses in their case. Avoid the death penalty. They're definitely trying to do that. The defense is actively working to prevent Kohberger from receiving the death penalty, using arguments related to his autism diagnosis and issues with discovery. Now, the issues with discovery, that worked for the Lori Vallow trial, the Lori Vallow trial, the first one. It's not going to work in Kohberger's trial. They've given the discovery over, and Taylor wants a Rolodex of everything that the state plans to use at trial, pretty much. That's not how this works. You get the discovery, just like the state gets the discovery when they get it. They look for the evidence that they need. The defense is supposed to look for the evidence that they need. You don't get their whole playbook of like, here, this is what we're bringing, this is what we're using at trial. Like, you don't, she doesn't get that. I mean, she should have. She should. She's a lawyer. I mean, she's the only certified death penalty lawyer up in that region. So you would think she would know. Well, hello, Felicia. Welcome in. Yeah, we're going to go over it. I mean, we're going to go over this, and I'm going to show I think I'm going to show the Prime thing in our Discord. I'll have it set up by this weekend, and I'll have it ready to go by next week. I just need to learn a couple more things. He actually did say there was an index in there. Yeah. And that was after she had been complaining and putting in so many requests for discoveries. I think he was just like, just give her something. But he did. He gave an index of like, yeah, a lot of the stuff. Like stuff that they were going to use. That's just so weird. Usually they don't do that. But he's like, here you go, honey. Here you go. So I'm going to pull up the current case summary for this too, because sometimes it'll have something different there. It's weird how that works. So in the current case summary, why is there 3, 4, 5? There's not 5 new documents out though. Maybe we went over I don't know. We went over all the new documents 2 days ago. We are like ahead of the game. Let me tell you what. We are ahead of the game. So we'll go through. Sorry, I keep hitting that mic. We'll go through these. So on 6/12, it says here an order. There's 2 orders. One of them is order sealing defendant's motion for access and objection to court's order. And then another order sealing state's response to defendant's motion, special investigation, motion to seal defendant's notice of filing amended exhibit chart. Okay. Notice of filing, sealed defendant's amended exhibit chart. And then there's another one, order sealing defendant's amended exhibit chart. So, but the, everything is still going as planned. Everything on here, let me show you this. Everything on here is still according to plan. We have our hearing on the 18th of June. So in a few days, they're going to have a hearing. It'll be 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. And I will be streaming that on this channel. So it'll be motion to continue. That's not going to be sealed, but they are sealing up the second part of the hearing, and it'll be the alternate perpetrators. I wish they weren't sealing it, but they are. Now, I'm just excited, and I'm glad that we'll be able to listen to the motion to continue, you know? I'm going to text. Hold on a second. Let's see. Can he not hear her outside the door, just like sitting her big body there? I'm about to get up and get her, but I just asked him if he'd get her. I should have got her. Now I feel bad. She just wants to come in. So this hearing was canceled, but this was canceled a long time ago. So 7/21, July. Now they might put another one in July. That way, they can get another hearing in before the trial. But hearing scheduled is 7:30 and 9 a.m. and 9 a.m. I don't know if that is for the start of jury trial or if they're starting on the 31st. But I thought that I read the 31st, but I thought that it was the 30th. So we'll stick with the 30th. We know it's the end of July. And then, of course, August 11th, jury trial, 8:30 a.m. their time. It'll be 10:30 a.m. my time, which is nice because, I can get up and have a cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee, but, I'm going to let her in real quick. Hold on one second. Okay, she's a happy dog. She's just standing by me. I don't know why she's doing that, but I always forget to turn on this light behind me. You can't even barely see it. You want to sit there? Okay. She's a sweet girl. Okay, be my sweet girl, Mia. I can hear your sister coming back now. Oh my Jesus. I should get, you know what I need? I got to get a whole new door though. I'd have to get a whole new door because I can't cut a hole in that one, but a doggy door, like a big one. Like a big doggy door. That's what I need. So they can just come in and out. Because that's what they want to do. Okay, so this is the motion to seal defendant's notice of filing amended exhibit chart. Okay. Comes now Bryan through his attorneys of record. Hereby moves the court for an order to seal the defendant's notice of filing amended exhibit chart. Okay, because it says because the motion and order contained confidential information and the materials were previously sealed. So it was sealed before, we want it sealed again, they're saying. Okay. Okay, Aunt Taylor. Okay. And then the next one is them just sealing it. Order sealing defendant's amended exhibit chart. So Judge Hippler said, okay. And that was on 6/12. That was today. So everything is still going according to plan. I don't think that they're going to continue on the 18th. I personally don't think that. I don't think that they would have sent out subpoenas to Bethany, to the 5 people in Pennsylvania. I guess they sent one to Dylan. I can't track that one down, but if anyone else has seen it, let me know. Okay, Aries. Oh, be careful, Aries, wherever you're at. But yeah, what's going on? Now I'm like, you know me, I get squirreled. Issue due to security incident as occurred at George Bush Continental Airport. What? Oh wow. Mia is such a good girl. Someone said today, just 1 second here. Just let me vent for 1 minute. Gina, you listen to this. So I'm walking my 2 dogs that are beautiful, beautiful dogs. My Araya Lee, let me tell you, my boxer pit is beautiful. She's beyond beautiful. I tell her all the time. And then I've got this dog that knows she's beautiful, right? She's a Weimaraner. She don't know it, but she knows it. She knows. This lady today walks by me. She goes, "Is that a Weimaraner?" And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, kind of like trying to get him over here because they'd be crazy. And she's like, that dog is so beautiful. And didn't even say nothing about little Riley. I was like, how you going to do that to my Riley? How you going to do that to my girl I got? You guys say they're both pretty, you know? Asked Tony to limit my screen time to 20 seconds or less. Thanks, Ladybug. She is a beautiful girl. I tell her all the time. She's my old girl. She's turning white on her face and her little nose. So remember the other day when we were going over the documents? I actually have it pulled up. It was the state's opposition to defendant's motion to continue. And all the way at the bottom, if you went past all the writing, which we read through, you got a table 1 and table 2, and it was what the defendant cited, like what they were going to be bringing in per the ABA guidelines. It was medical history, complete prenatal, pediatric, and adult health, exposure to harmful substances when he was in the womb. Don't know if that's even correct, but okay. Substance abuse history, mental health history, history of maltreatment and neglect. What? Where? Huh? Who? Trauma history, educational history, employment and training history, military expertise. Don't even think you have any. Multi-generational family history, genetic disorders and vulnerabilities, as well as multi-generational patterns of behavior. You could probably find that in anybody's family. Prior adult and juvenile correctional experience. Did you get arrested when you stole your sister's phone? Religious gender, sexual orientation, ethnic, racial, cultural, and community influences. Not touching that. Socioeconomic, historical, and political factors. Ain't touching that one. I'm just reading what they have here. But yeah, I mean, like, it's just, you know, it's just kind of crazy. Witnesses the defendant wants. He wants the client's family, extending 3 generations back, and those familiar with the client. We ain't got time for that. We ain't got time to be questioning your third cousin, Kohberger, that met you once at a family reunion. What's he going to tell us? That you're weird? Actually, I know what to touch and what not to touch. I ain't gonna come on here and say I'm not political and then say something political. I might actually do something like that. This doesn't sound like something I do. I'm just kidding. I try not to be political. I really don't care either way. Like right now, I'm just angry at everybody. I really am. Actually, you know what? How is Biden doing? I know he has the cancer. I hope he's doing okay, actually. So new details of Bryan Kohberger's addiction, battle, and dark past revealed in Idaho murder filings. So, you know, we weren't the only one to be thinking, what's this that we're reading? And, you know, this is why. So let me fix my lips. They feel a little dry. So, so this is what's going to get you kind of caught up with what I was just reading. But Bryan Kohberger's secret past trauma and teenage addiction battle are expected to fall under the spotlight at his capital murder trial as his defense fights to save him from the firing squad. I just really don't know what else I'd really bring in. He doesn't. What else? I mean, like, no offense, but what else has he done? But he was an addict, but he got off of it. Like he was able to do that. That's willpower right there. Like losing 100 and so pounds, that's willpower. You know, going and getting a surgery and getting your tummy tucked, that's willpower. Like I just, he's all right. He all right. In a new court filing, hitting back at the suspect's 11th hour bid to delay the trial, prosecutors point to a trove of information uncovered about Kohberger's past. Among them are details of past trauma, including records about a childhood car accident Kohberger was involved in. I don't remember reading that part. It's probably in there. I'm over here reading it now to see if I can find it. Is he really? No, we're not using that as a especially from for Austin, right? Like, yeah. No, definitely. I didn't know he was in it. I didn't know it said that childhood car accident. So I would have been bitching and moaning about that. The details of this accident, including when and where it occurred, remain a mystery. Yeah, I'm going to look into that. He's lived in Monroe County his whole life, I think, pretty much. They lived there. They lived there right before Bryan Kohberger was born. They lived in New York, and they moved to the Poconos. So we just need, like, you just get a hold of the State Highway Patrol usually, but we don't know when. I wonder if you could put, like, I don't know if you could put in like this year to this year. I have my stuff. I got my stuff through the State Highway Patrol, like the accident pictures and videos or whatever, everything that they had. I got that from them. So it says it is also unclear if Kohberger suffered any injuries in the accident. Well, apparently they're going to say he suffered a head trauma. We all know where this is going. They're going to say he got whiplash. That doesn't do it. So they're going to say he got a concussion. I don't know. I've had so many concussions in my life, and I've never offed anybody. So let's not use that as an excuse. But the filing states that the incident is documented in the defense's reports from mental health experts, and the accused killer's family members can testify about the apparent trauma he endured. Okay, I want to hear about this. The 30-year-old criminology PhD graduate is going on trial this August, charged with the murders of Kaylee Gonzalez, Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, and Madison Mogan in a horror knife attack in Moscow, Idaho on November 13th, 2022. If convicted, he faces the death penalty. We reviewed last night the people that are on death row in Idaho, right? The oldest guy in there, I think, was from 1983. He's been in there, 1983. He's still chilling on death row. So, I mean, and the newest was our dude, Chad Daybell, smiling in his mugshot. So when people say, oh my God, he's going to get the firing squad, it's not like this is happening tomorrow or the next day or 10 years from now. Due to the changes in Idaho state law, he could be facing the prospect of the firing squad if sent to death row. I bet you anything, if he's sent to death row, he will live so long on death row that they will change the firing squad back to something else. I bet you. Kohberger's legal team have tried and failed 13 times to get capital punishment taken off the table. Well, you can't say they didn't try. Now, with his trial date looming, the defense has made a last-ditch request to delay the trial, citing a recent Dateline episode that revealed bombshell new details and pointed to a potential evidence leak in the case. Now, I wonder if Kohberger's attorneys would even say anything if other people weren't saying stuff about the Dateline episode. Like, I wonder if they even knew about the Dateline episode when it came out, or if they heard about it through somebody else and they're like, oh, and then they saw it, and because I don't see Ann Taylor just hanging out watching Dateline on a Friday. So, but in the new court filing, prosecutor Bill Thompson clapped back feverishly, responding, "It is time." And he did. He said, "It is time for this to go to trial." Those were the first words out of his mouth. The state rubbished claims a delay would make it easier to seat an impartial jury and blasted the defense for going down every rabbit hole. Defendant's motion amounts to a request for a... Let me let her in. Hold on. Sorry. She's scratching up the door. Oh, she's so cute. You're lucky we ain't got a lot of people in here tonight, Riley. She's standing beside me. You want your blanket? Okay, we're cool now. All right, they're in here. We're good. Oh, and don't let me forget. I'll write it down. I'll give you an update on that fly situation at the end of the life. Okay. Defendant's motion amounts to a request for a perpetual continuance so that his counsel can go down every rabbit hole until defendant, rather than the court, deems himself ready for trial. The filing from prosecutor Bill Thompson reads, and I agree with that. He's scared. Okay. At the end of the day, I don't care who you are. If you're on trial for 4 counts of murder and 1 count of burglary, and you're facing the death penalty, you're going to be a little scared, right? Hell, I didn't want to go to court for a speeding ticket before. Like, I was so scared to go for that. I didn't want to be told I was in trouble. So he's going to try to delay. I mean, he's going to try to get Ann to delay it as much as she can delay it. So the state argues that Kohberger's team has had plenty of time to prepare for the trial, coming more than 2 years after his arrest. Yeah. It's time to try the case. Defendant was arrested in late December of 2022 and was indicted in May of 2023. Prosecutors argue that defendant's counsel investigation into his life story has been more than adequate, providing a table of areas of investigation the defense has cited a need to address, along with a list of corresponding records in the case, as well as the car crash, which was listed under trauma history. Kohberger's past drug abuse is also mentioned, with prosecutors revealing family members and mental health professionals can speak to this evidence. As a teenager, Kohberger struggled with heroin addiction and was once arrested for stealing and selling his sister's iPhone. So that's why the juvenile system. According to 2014 court records, Kohberger's dad, Michael, called police to report his then 19-year-old son for stealing the cell phone. Oh, that wouldn't be juvenile. He's 19. I thought he was 16. See, me and someone in the comments were talking about that, and they were right. I forget who it was. I thought he was 16. So he would have went to jail. Wow. Michael told police the teen had drug abuse issues. Okay, so you know that this was really far gone before this happened. This wasn't the first time, right? That he did something. Your parents don't call the police on you the first time you do something bad like that. Like, even if they know you're going down the wrong path, you know what I mean? Like, they'll usually, a lot of parents will even enable in some cases, but a lot of parents will take a lot of bull crap from their kids that are drug addicts before they actually go and get them help, or like call the police or do anything like that. They try to like in-house it, you know what I mean? Like, fix it in home first. But I guess that by the time he was 19, he was stealing his sister's cell phone, and they were like, "We done with you, bro." So it says several former friends and high school classmates also spoke out about his heroin use following his arrest in December 2022. Rich Pasqua told the New York Times that he and Kohberger would use heroin together in 2013 and 2014, while both working at a local pizza store in his home state of Pennsylvania. Now, if you had visual snow, I don't know. I'm curious how heroin would work with that. Like, I don't really, I need to look it up because I don't really know what heroin does to your body when you do it. It's like a pain medication, right? Like, it feels like that, I'm like, that just doesn't seem like it would work out very well. Oh, don't give me I don't need the National Helpline for Mental Health and Drug Problems. I was seeing like. All right, I'll probably have to read through that, but I'll do that later. Yeah, I wonder if it would, like, if he thought it was going to help him, you know what I mean? or if it did help him, like if there was just something mentally wrong with him there, you know, and he thought it was helping him. But everything like I looked up, it was like migraine prevalence and visual snow with prior illicit drugs. So I don't know. I know a lot of people that have visual snow, they get migraines though. So where were we at? Pasqua also described Kohberger as socially awkward and said he was bullied in high school over his weight. Kohberger eventually kicked his drug habit following a stint in rehab, turning his attentions to studying criminology. This picture always like freaks me out. I don't know why, but it just does. I don't know. He just looks like maybe he was on heroin here. There's the new pictures of his dad. He hadn't missed a meal. Look at his New Balance dad shoes. What's up with that hat? What are you clearing away? Could you imagine that guy being mad at you? He'd be like pissed off. I could see him mad about that cell phone. I'm not gonna lie, I could see him real mad about that cell phone. I would be too, though, if that was my kid, you know. I'd be like, you little son of a gun. But and then his mother, they didn't get pictures of Mary Ann because she was in the house. She's been in the house. So the suspected mass killer's medical and mental health history has also been investigated ahead of the trial, with defense experts diagnosing Kohberger with autism, OCD, and ADHD. Welcome to my world. Prosecutors reveal that Kohberger's educational, family, and religious history has also been explored by his team. Last week, subpoenas were issued to several people in Pennsylvania to appear as witnesses in his upcoming trial, including an advisor at his former school, and a woman who works at a boxing gym where he used to train. The filing references several witnesses identified as potentially relevant to Kohberger's history, including former teachers, former classmates, former coworkers, a professor he worked for, family members, and psychologists, and other mental health professionals. The state is not conceding that all the materials listed herein are relevant and inadmissible or are actually mitigating, prosecutors write. The purpose of this table is simply to show that defendant has obtained the types of materials he claims that he needs for his mitigation case. Therefore, a continuance is not warranted. The prosecution argues that Kohberger's team has already plowed the necessary ground to prepare for trial and is asking the judge to deny the 11th hour motion to delay it. As well as needing more time, the defense also cited the recent Dateline show and the publicity around the case in its argument to postpone the trial. The Dateline show, released in early May, revealed new details about the case for the very first time, including the suspected killer's phone records, porn choices, and online searches for Ted Bundy. It also aired never-before-seen surveillance footage of a suspect vehicle fleeing the horrific crime scene on November 13th, 2022. Days after the show aired, Judge Steve Hippler handed down a scathing court order saying that the release of sensitive information in the episode shows that someone close to the case was likely violated the gag order. He warned that this could make it more difficult to see an impartial jury, something that they close to the victims describe as a distraction. The judge ordered an investigation into the leak, vowing to root out the source and hold the culprit to account. Raise your hand if you think they're going to find out who did it. I just don't see them finding out. In the 22-page filing, prosecutors acknowledged that there has been intense public publicity surrounding the case and that the Dateline episode does pose challenges to the trial. There is no doubt that the publicity surrounding this case, including but not limited to a recent Dateline TV show containing non-public evidence, poses challenges for the court and both parties, the filing reads. However, defendants' reliance on the Dateline episode to support its motion is misplaced for several reasons. Yeah, they just try and blame that Dateline episode so they can get this continuance, you know what I mean? Or something thrown out. Prosecutors also argued that granting a delay would not reduce the publicity around the case, instead arguing it would only allow more opportunities for pretrial publicity and make it harder to seat a jury. And I agree with that. The longer this case goes, the harder it's going to be. I feel like I don't think that delaying this case for years is going to do much. We are still going to be sitting here talking about it. And we're going to be wondering why Ann hasn't went through that 51 terabytes. Give it to us. Judge Stephen Hippler has not yet ruled on the defense's motion to delay the trial. A hearing is scheduled for June 18th, where the judge will weigh the arguments. A closed-door hearing will also be held that day around whether or not the defense can present an alternate suspect to jurors at trial. Do you think that they're going to let her try to use the alternate perpetrator defense? I don't think so, because they don't even have a good alibi defense down. I mean, they're supposed to have one thing at a time down, right? I mean, work on one thing, I guess. But it says Kohberger's defense has filed documents pointing the finger at another suspect or suspects they claim could be the real killer or killers. So you have the person, that those people, it should be closed. Like if you know somebody, if you're going to say a name, then yeah, it should be closed. But I mean, who would they say? Anybody that we know? No. They're just going to pick a random person? I don't know. They said that they're going to give evidence of another perpetrator. Now, they better not just say, we want you to test this glove or the banister or, under Maddie's fingernails again. Or, you know what I mean? Even though it was inconsistent. Like, no. I would just be like, we're not doing all that. Like, if it hasn't been tested, there's a reason why, and they know that reason. I don't know, but they would be able to give that to Ann. Like, no, this is, the reason why we didn't test that already. So, as it stands, the identity of the suspect or suspects and what evidence the defense has that could tie them to the brutal murders remains a mystery, with all the documents sealed. More than 2 years have passed since the November 13th, 2022 murders of the 4 University of Idaho students. Kohberger is accused of breaking into a 3-story off-campus home in the heart of the college town of Moscow and stabbing the 4 victims to death. 2 other roommates survived, with one of them coming face-to-face with the masked killers moments after the attack. I wonder if he looked like that with his eyes. Kohberger was arrested around 6 weeks later on December 30th, 2022 at his parents' home in the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania. He was connected to the murders after his DNA was found on a K-bar leather knife sheath found next to Mogen's body at the scene. Prosecutors also found cell phone records placing him outside the student home multiple times prior to the murders, as well as surveillance footage showing a vehicle matching his car speeding away. Jury selection is slated to begin in late July or early August, with the trial getting underway August 11th. And I'm wondering how long that camera was at that 1112. Like how long they had that light bulb camera there, because if investigators wanted to, they could just be like, okay, Kohberger's phone is pinging in the area, let's say October 17th, right? Like, when they'd be able to go to that camera October 17th and look through the whole day, look through the whole night, or whatever, whenever date or time Kohberger was in the area, and see if he went by, like that would be more evidence. Like, so they may have something like that. Whatever they said, like 20 sometimes he was in the area, was near the house, is what they're saying. So if that's true, maybe they have him on camera 27 times. Maybe we'll see it. We'll see him on camera 27 times. I mean, they may have some stuff like that, and it's going to blow our mind, I think they do have stuff like that that's going to blow our mind. I really do. So let me grab my drink, and then we'll talk about this new docuseries that's coming out. I really want to play this for you guys. So I think we'll have to do it in the Discord, but we'll do it. Hey, Jeff. Oh, 30 days worth. Well, there you go. I just have a feeling it's going to be like so much more. I just can't wait for opening statements. Bill, make me proud. I was like, what's Barbara Walters saying? But never mind. Oh, that's sad. Okay, I'm reading the stuff at the top. So this is Maddie's mom. But there's a new docuseries coming out, like I was telling you guys in the beginning of the live, on Prime Video. It looks really good. They did release a video portion so that we can watch like a trailer, 2-minute trailer. From the 2-minute trailer, it does look really good. I was watching it today in Sam's Club, the only club that I club in. So I saw that Maddie's mom was on there. Ethan Chapin's parents and brother and sister were in it. Some of his frat brothers, some of the sorority sisters and the friends. It was really good. So we'll go through this article and see what they say, because they may have some extra like details that aren't in the video. So it says, ahead of Bryan Kohberger's trial, family and friends of Idaho murder victims speak out in new docuseries. I wonder if they're all in it, like all the parents. They didn't like put any, like they didn't say that like Xana's parents were in there or Kaylee's. When 4 University of Idaho students were brutally killed at an off-campus residence in November 2022, it shook this small, quiet college town of Moscow and made national headlines. Madison Mogan, 21, Kaylee Gonzalez, 21, Xana Kernodle, 20, and Xana's boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, 20, were all stabbed to death in bedrooms on the 2nd and 3rd floor of the home. 2 more roommates at the 1122 King Road residence, Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk, were home and unharmed. Early in the investigation, the surviving roommates were ruled out as suspects, while local police restricted what they shared with the public about the investigation. Rumors and speculation circulated online. And boy, did it. More than a month after the murders took place, suspect Bryan Kohberger was arrested in Pennsylvania in connection with the slayings. His long-awaited trial is set to begin in August, with many questions, including a positive motive, yet to be answered. Now, do you think we'll ever get the motive? I don't know. I think we will. I think that they'll give us something. The horrific case is focused on Prime's Video's upcoming 4-part docuseries, One Night in Idaho, The College Murders, which premieres on July 11th. Watch the trailer below, which I have it in another on another page. But told in captivating, tense, and emotionally wrenching detail by only those involved in and affected by the crime, the series intimately explores this American tragedy and its continued impact and fallout, according to a Prime Video press release. The series centers on the families and friends of the victims, featuring exclusive interviews with Stephen and Jim Chapin, parents of Ethan Chapin, and Karen and Scott Laramie, parents of Maddie Mogan. Well, mom and stepdad. When this person out there who had just murdered our brother, and he's still out there somewhere, recalled Hunter Chapin, Ethan Chapin's brother, of his and his sister Maisie Chapin's emotions following the killings, per the trailer. He looks just like his brother. I mean, they're twins, but like, man. Kohberger was first arrested in December 2022 after he was allegedly linked to the crime scene by DNA recovered from the knife sheath, per a probable cause affidavit previously obtained by People. Additionally, investigators traced the location of his cell phone and obtained surveillance footage that showed a car which appeared to be the same make and model as his driving to and from the scene of the crime. And this will be July 11th it'll come out. So it's like a month. And it's called One Night in Idaho. So in a motion laying out his alibi, Kohberger's lawyer, Ann Taylor, said the suspect was out driving by himself on the night of the murders, but that he did not kill the 4 victims. At the time of the murders, Kohberger was a PhD student in criminology at the Washington State University in Pullman, Washington, about 8 miles from the residence where the students were slain. He is charged with 4 counts of murder and 1 count of felony burglary. In May 2023, the judge ultimately entered a plea of not guilty for him. Kohberger's murder trial is set to get underway on August 11th in Ada County, after the defense has successfully petitioned for a change of venue in the case. If convicted, he could be sentenced to death. Karen Laramie, Mogan's mother, has been open about her feelings regarding the trial being pushed back multiple times. I don't have a lot of comments on that, Laramie said on the Today Show in December 2024. I would say that the legal system is not about the victims, and I'll leave it at that. And if you want to see that full interview with her, I do have it on, I believe, under my videos, under the Idaho 4 videos. It's the only interview she's done. Look at this. The docuseries is directed by blah, 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 blah. And then James Patterson Entertainment. That's how they got Ethan's family to get in there, because Ethan's family's helped write the book with James Patterson, like Ethan's chapters, like Ethan's part in the book. I don't know exactly how, if it's going to have like, I don't know, maybe it's going to have like chapters for each person, like chapter 1, Kaylee, chapter 2, Maddie, or you know what I mean? Like something like that. And then like, so you can get like an in-depth look at their life maybe. But I do remember reading or hearing somewhere that they did help James write the book. So the part about Ethan anyway. So I think that's really cool. Because I mean, they know what's going into the book, you know? So let me share this tab here with you instead. And this is the trailer for that. So let's watch the trailer together. If you haven't seen it yet, it's really good. If you haven't seen it, or if you guys wouldn't mind, hit the like button for me. It really does help. And I'll play this video here. Oh, thank you for letting me know, Ladybug. Thanks for hitting that like tonight, guys. I appreciate it. You guys are usually always really good about that. So it looks good, doesn't it? So apparently it had Hunter and what's her name? I forget the other girl's name that was there with the 911 call, but it had them in there. I might go back too far. Maybe we'll just have to play it again. It was like right around in here, but yeah. What I think we'll do on our next live too is go through those pictures and videos that I wanted to go through, because there's a lot there. And I think it's pretty important, like, to look at those, because I mean, it shows details of the house, like, because a lot of the pictures are in the house, so it says, like, it shows a lot of like the details. You can see stuff in the, you know, behind them. It'll show us kind of like how bright certain areas were, because they did have like that little cart set up in the hallway there, you know, with the good vibe sign and everything. So I think that area was a little more illuminated than maybe we first initially thought, because I didn't realize how illuminated that cart was. So, but yeah, it looks really good. Yeah. Bloom. Yeah, I read that book to you guys, Squeaky. Now they do have James Patterson's books coming out, and we'll have I think it comes out July. Let's see. I always forget the date. I think it's this 22nd or something. All I know is we got to be reading fast. It's okay, July 14th, so we don't have to read that. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic, but we don't have to read that fast. But it comes out July 14th. So a month before the trial date. So I think that, wow, okay. I want to see if I can find this thing about the car accident. I don't remember seeing. Here, I'll put it on here for you guys too. Okay, no, alternate performer, neighbors of the client. Okay. He says something about trauma. It's under like something with trauma. I'm not seeing it. Trauma right here, trauma history. Oh, that's why, because I was just like, I wasn't paying attention to this, because I saw a lot of them said contained in the defendant's exhibit. It says, you little son of a bitch. Records related to childhood car accident contained in defendant's exhibit and elsewhere in defendant's discovery. I'm going to tell you a story, Kohberger. Hope you're watching, which I know you're not, but I hope you are. My father was hit by a car when he was two or 3 years old. I think 2 years old. And it was, I mean, back then in the 60s, they don't make them like they used to. They used to be made of metal. Cars used to be made of pure old metal. He almost died. I'll have to tell you the story sometime, but a priest came in, prayed over my dad. The next day my dad woke up, he was okay. And the priest became a saint. It was a big deal. My dad never went and unalived anybody. And he was hit by a full-on like car, ran over. My dad was ran out in the middle of the road, the car. He survived. But yeah, I have to tell you about that, about how my dad helped a priest become a saint. He was his third miracle. I was like, well, look at that. And my dad was not the type that was very religious, but he knew what he did. I have like all the articles and stuff too. I have to find out where they're at. If not, I'll have my uncle send them to me again. My brother might have them, actually. You going to bed, Ash? Oh, is it bad? Let's see. Okay. They should have waited until after the trial. Oh, gosh. They're going to be mad. Let's see. Having grown in Moscow, to father would be happy to hunt him. Okay. Wow, it's sad that they go on things like that, even if they did sign a non-disclosure, but not tell people what happened, or just say, I can't talk about it, but you never hear from them. They should be a way of stopping this from getting out. What are you talking about? This journalist is an ambulance chaser. Okay. There's no evidence of stalking. They need to quit with the false narratives. Okay. The gag order is still active. Yeah. The families can talk about their loved ones and the case. They're allowed to talk about it. Okay. The lawyers cannot talk about it. The judges cannot talk about it. Freaking idiots. Should have went to the comment section. I haven't even got to any bad ones yet. I'm already freaking out. So sometimes if you guys don't see me in the comment sections for a few days, it's because I just can't handle some of the comments. Some of the comments in my comment section gets a little crazy. And I'm just like, whoa. Wow, so the friends finally speak. Convenient timing, huh? Yeah, it is convenient. It probably took them that long to be able to sit down and do an interview about this. Do you expect them to do it right after the murders? Do you expect them to sit and give us everything? We are not privy. Someone should be writing this out. We are not privy to their information. Whatever they have, whatever happened to them, they don't have to tell us. We have no right to freaking know. We have no right to know what Ethan's family goes through on a day-to-day basis. If they don't want to tell us, we have no right. Like, people feel like that they have a right to know things. Do you ever see that? Even with people with content creators, they feel like they have a right to know things like, about the creators. And it's just like, no, you don't. It's crazy. It says this will not age well. What do you mean? Because there's family members talking about what they went through, their experience. Like, I don't get that. Yeah, another one-sided hit piece filled with misinformation and manipulative narratives. The more we learn, the darker it gets. Oh my gosh. Okay. I love it. My favorite thing is whenever they're like, they come on your page or they come like in the comment section and they're rooting for Bryan, but they spell his name wrong. Or I'm here for the victims and they spell the victims' names wrong. And it's not just like a letter, like where it's like a typo. It's like, we know you're spelling it wrong. Truth, justice, true crime. Okay. Keep tainting the jury pool. Why don't you? He isn't convicted. No one said he was innocent. And that's supposed to be until. I love when people can't write. She didn't put an N there. Oh, she can't even use an N, I guess. Her N doesn't work on her phone. Oh, wait, the N works there. Proven guilty in the court of law, not I, the public opinion. It's okay. Maybe BK will sue everyone that's done this to him when he's found not guilty. He's not suing anybody, okay? DM did it, and she is still out there. You are disgusting. Give it a rest, but okay. Look, they can't even come in with a real name. GFHG. Look at this. If you ain't coming in my comment section, if this was mine, I'm just gonna actually tell you guys just for if someone's watching a replay, if you come into my comment section with a name like this and you leave me a dumb comment and you don't have a picture, I am going to just hide you from the channel. I'm not even going to comment back. I'm just going to hide you from the channel. I don't care if you're a subscriber or a member or whatever you are. No, that's just a dumb comment. That is a dumb comment. Now, I'm not expecting you to say Bryan Kohberger did this in my comment section because I don't expect that at all. I don't expect that. Everyone has their own difference of an opinion on if you think he's guilty, innocent, or you're indifferent, I care about justice. And from what I've seen in the probable cause affidavit and every single document that I've read, and I wonder how many documents are in this case, I mean, what, 300, 400 documents, probably maybe about that. We've read them all. So, yeah, man, the free Kohbergers, but I mean, because they're people that are for Bryan Kohberger are just rude. Like, I'm sorry, but a lot of people that are for Bryan Kohberger are very rude. They're like I can have a conversation with somebody on that doesn't agree with what I say, and I don't agree with what they say. But when it comes to this case, nobody bends at all. No one bends. Everyone is stuck on what they feel. And it's crazy. Really, Austin? I bet. I feel like it's, yeah. Oh, baby girl. Maybe take a warm bath. Or whatever you like to do. Yeah, get out a pair of binoculars. Maybe you can, you live in a condo, you can, if you're I don't know if you're in where you're upstairs and you can spy on the neighbors, get yourself some binoculars, like Squeaky's saying. They are looking insane. If I had, I should just type up one thing and just copy and paste it to every stupid comment or post. Why another dog before the trial? Well, because I'm going to make a documentary on this case too. I just haven't done it yet. I'm just nervous to start it. Actually, I started it I started it a year ago. I just need to do it. I need to record it because it's going to be pictures and stuff and just my voice. And then it'll have me on there a little bit too. Shame on you, Amazon. Shame on you, Amazon. You told on Bryan. If he said, get out and call 911, then why did he reenact finding the bodies during the 911 call? What? Because he said, I think you were like this with his hands in the interview. That's him reenacting. Oh, y'all need some spiritual guidance or some marijuana, maybe, or a beer, maybe a shot. I know what it. Y'all need a pool. That's what it is. Oh, these people don't go swimming. That's their problem. They don't go out. They don't get out and go swimming. I love to swim. Swimming is my jam. You can swim in a creek, a lake. You can, any little body of water you can find, right? If you don't have a pool, you don't need a pool. The ocean, if you live close enough, that's what it is. These people need to get out and not just touch grass. They need to swim in the swimming pool or in the ocean or in a creek. I'm telling you, when you get some water and sun, it's just like nothing else. Well, they need to get laid too. Yeah, but they need to get tan first because, ain't nobody going to be getting laid if they ain't going to the pool first. Man, this could be a whole show, just me reading these. Why the hell is this being made before the trial? This is insanity. I love acting it out. Connie, you're so funny. These were 13 minutes ago. This documentary appears to be about the people who were affected and not who everyone thinks did it. Hunter discovering the bodies in no way implicates BK. We're not saying that. The fact that these people looked at the ex-boyfriends, etc., is well known. We are hearing it how it affected those people's lives. What? Here we are hearing how it affected those people's lives. None of this implicates BK as a killer. It doesn't. So, okay, thank you for making that obvious comment. Why are they participating in this before the trial? Why not? Why is this coming out? Okay, you're stupid. Mistrial can coming. Oh my God. I love it when they say mistrial. Was BF not in the house when it all went down? Why is DM taking all the heat? Well, she's taking all the heat because she happened to see the killer. That's why. She happened to open her damn door. And good thing that she said, good thing he didn't see her, right? She could be another victim. She could be dead. And then nobody would be talking about her. They just like, oh yeah, DM, they add her to the list. Because none of these people that are commenting this shit in this chat right now care about any of these victims. If you ask them, name me all 4 victims right now, they'd be like, Kayla. They'd be like Judge when he first said their names. He was calling them all kinds of different names. That's what these people would be doing. It was one night at college game. What is he talking about? Kohberger is innocent. The roommates had something to do with it. I love that because, 2 girls running around with K-bars that they have no purchase of, no proof of purchase of these K-bars. But this guy Kohberger, they do. And he just happens to leave his sheath in the bed with one of the victims. But don't look at him. Don't you dare look at him. Don't you dare think it's that guy from Pennsylvania with the bushy eyebrows. Don't you dare. Some of these kids we're dealing drugs. Be honest. Just because you're on drugs doesn't mean everybody is, okay? Tina, free Bryan. Do you want him to live next door to you? I can go for days. And if you think I'm funny, hit the like button because shoot, at this point we got to be laughing because, man, I think this would make anybody laugh. All the evidence points to DM. What? She was in the house that she lived in? Okay. If DM did this, right? Okay. I'm going to give you this right now. If DM did this, when the cop showed her a picture of Bryan Kohberger and asked her, do you know who this is? And she said no. She could have said right then and there, yep, that's the guy I saw at my house that night. But she didn't. Because she said, I can't confirm who it was. I only saw the eyebrows. Like, you know what I mean? You people need to think. Just common sense. You guys didn't get any. I just can't believe there's this many people that are lacking it. I mean, really, like, it's just common sense. If it's the easiest thing is usually what it is. Do you know what I mean? It's usually not that complicated. It's usually really not. Protest this by not paying Amazon Prime and let this flop like the roommates did, trying to act as if nothing was wrong, and a passed out roommate that would obviously have blood get no mention to 911. Protest this by not paying Amazon Prime. Oh yeah, let's all do it. Everyone cancel your Amazon Prime. You're just saying right there that Kohberger's guilty. Dumbass. Was that all of them? Oh, I'm already at the bottom. Justice and prayers for Kohberger, innocent 100%. He is the worst victim in all of this. Oh, karma's going to get you. Nina. I hope they paid the families. Well, okay. What this person said, oh, grow up, kid. I mean, yeah, let's just protest this by not paying Amazon Prime and let this flop like the that's not even spelled right. Did, trying to act as if nothing was wrong, and then wrong, and a passed out roommate that's not spelled right that would obviously have blood get no mention to 911. Okay, yeah, you need to learn how to write. Look at this guy. Look at this Eric. I'm about to school this Erica. No, he stood silent, brushed up on your law because obviously you don't know shit. Obviously you don't know shit, Erica, because he sat silent. He didn't stand. He wouldn't stand up. He couldn't stand up in front of that judge. He was scared to because he's scared to get in trouble. That's why he's trying to delay this trial. He doesn't want to. That's what it is, y'all. He does not want to be told you're bad. You're a bad, you're what's wrong with society. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not saying that he's guilty. I'm saying that the judge may say this to him. You are what's wrong with society. He doesn't want to be told that. I'm just saying I wouldn't want to be told that. And I'm telling you, I literally had a speeding ticket one time and I was so afraid to just even go and pay the ticket. Like, I didn't want to do any of that. Like, my mama had to, like, she's like, we are going, like, we're like, just pay it. Like, it was just, I don't like to be told I'm like, like, you know what I mean? I don't like to be told like I did something wrong. Like, I'm in trouble. No one likes to be told that, especially by a judge, especially by Judge Hippler. I mean, I think if you were found guilty of a crime, let's say, in Judge John Judge's court, he would probably give you a speech like, get your life together while you're in there, just try to do things, try to get some degrees, do your thing, live your life. You can do it. I got faith in you, buddy. And I think Judge Hippler is going to be more like, you piece of crap, get out of my courtroom. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to say that, but you know what I mean? I think he's just more of like a short, like he's more of he handles bigger cases. So I think he's going to be like, this isn't a big deal to him. This isn't going to be like a big deal. Like the Ted Bundy judge. Ladybugs, so they have zero sense of self-preservation. Yeah. Yeah, they do. Yeah. He did have a Reddit group. Bryan did. They were called Bryan's Girls. I was in there. I snuck in, changed my name and everything. Still changed on Reddit. It's not TitaniumBuilt. It's something else. Like, I told someone about my channel the other day and I was like, oh, that's not even my name. So they don't even realize I'm talking about myself, but it was pretty funny. I got into the back door of the Bryan's Girls and I was able to like take screenshots and everything. And then I got kicked out. And then they made a new one and I got into that one after sitting there on hold, like just waiting to join for like 3 months. They finally let me in. It seemed to me that account was like done by like a younger girl, like somebody really young. Like, she had a cell phone holder, like her cell phone set up like you know what I mean, with her little cell phone holder, and it was a Bryan's Girl cell phone holder. But it looked like she handmade it. You know what I mean? Like with like these little cutout hearts and stuff. It didn't look like somebody my age would make that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just seemed, Thanks, Felicia. I can be pretty savage. I like Judge too, but yeah, it did seem like they were doing happy hours on Friday together. It did seem like that. Like the way he just like, he had that little boy smile and he like him and like Anne would like kind of go back and forth, but it was like a friendly bickering. And it was just like, no, we don't do this. We don't do this. Oh, did you hear Lori Vallow guilty? She got a guilty verdict today. Man. Of conspiracy to commit murder. I mean, my goodness. Let me see if I can find that hairstyle she stole from me and then I never wore it again. I might wear it again now. Oh, there it is right there. Look at that. So I used to wear my hair like this. I thought it was cute. because it just got my bangs out, like not my bangs, 'cause I don't have bangs, but like these little hairs, just like the stuff that kind of comes forward and it gets in your face and you just like want to pull a little bit of it up and out of your eyes. Yeah. So I was rocking that little hairstyle for a while. And then I see this first day of court for Lori. This was like 2 years ago, I think. I almost 2 years ago, probably a year and a half ago, I'd say by now. And I have not worn I forgot to show you. I have not worn my hair like this ever since. I said, forget it. I ain't doing it. There was a Bryan's Girls Reddit. Yep. There was a Bryan's Girls with a Y and then a Bryan's Girls with an I because they tried to sneak the Bryan's Girls back. They thought they was sneaky and they weren't. Sneaky snake. Yeah, you like that, Austin? I know Vincent's excited about the closing arguments on the Karen Reed trial. He's watched it. He's like, what's closing arguments mean? I should lie to him. I'm just kidding. I didn't lie. I said, it's just, when the state's done, defense is done, they're ready, they're just done and they're ready to start deliberating. And I was like, that's when the jury goes back. And he's like, oh, I'm going to watch that. He is this guy that he watches. He's a lawyer, but it's not anybody that we would know. Like it's, I forget his name. I thought he was Amish, but he's not. I think a lot of this has to do with the way the prosecution handled the case really won. As much as the backtracked on certain things they said following with the gag order made people lose trust. That's true, Carrie. Yeah. Yeah, I like him too, Felicia. I can't remember this is somebody that none of us here would have heard of. Like, I was like, who is that? Bruh. I think I have Peacock. Why, what's on there? If not, I can always get it. I think I watched something on Peacock not too long ago, though. I think I did. Oh, man, it's getting late. Yeah, Crime Talk. I think I follow him. I don't know if I do or not. If not, he always just comes up on my For You page. It looks like I do. Oh, wait, no, I don't. Well, let's subscribe because he's at 296. So, like, he's close to 300K. He's really been pushing out the content. Like, I've noticed that, though. Like, with Bryan content, like Bryan Kohberger content. Oh, yes. Did you see where they had her sitting in the basement? I showed y'all that one night. I do want to watch that. I wonder if I can watch it and then come on and tell you guys, like, if I could clip certain parts of it, but not like big clips. Do you know what I mean? And use it. But yeah, I want to watch that, Austin. I'm into the Rex Heuermann case very much so. And they have his wife where she's sitting. They have her sitting in the basement, and right behind her is that vault. And when they say a vault, they weren't lying. This is not just a gun, safe that you stuck into your wall or something. This is an actual freaking safe. Like, it has the full wheel and everything on it. And I'm like, oh my God. And then the stairs are so creepy McCreeperson. It's And then I heard she says in the first few seconds, she doesn't think he did it. Your hair's on the victims. What do you say about that? What do you have to say about that, Asa? Yeah, we need to go over that. That's going to get me fired up just thinking about it. Man, nope. I'm like, nope. Okay, let me exit out of all this stuff here. Okay, well, I'm going to jump off here. Oh, Felicia, I have a playlist, and we should go back over it because I know Aries likes that case. He's from New York, so he likes that one. And plus, I've been interested in this ever since Shannon, ever since she disappeared. And then her mom was like a big force to be reckoned with, you know. His wife says, Rex is my hero. When I saw him in jail, I fell in love with him all over again. That's what it is, Austin. Yep. What? Asa, are they, okay, I know they're paying you $1 million. Are you saying this for $1 million? Oh man. Okay. It's just been released. I'm going to write that down. Oh, I forgot to tell you one more thing. Rex Heuermann. Okay, my dogs are snoring behind me. Are they both in here? They are. Oh, look at you guys. You guys, yeah, you got to see this, like the base. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I can find the picture of her. I'll her up. Because they paid her $1 million for this Peacock documentary. $1 million. Would you say that you were still in love with your ex-husband after that long? I mean, for like, he's a serial killer and you're like, yeah, I saw him in prison and I fell in love again. Nope, not a chance in hell. Well, we got the daughter. Got her sent by some boxes. Oh, wait. Oh, they have wait, right here. Oh my God, she's so freaky. She's freaky too. I don't like her. I don't like her because the way she came out at us when this case first started, Asa was like, remember her in the front yard with that mean look on her face? Oh, but look at this. Creepy. Look at the door. It's open. Oh my God. You tell me if you're a working lady and you go and someone told you to go down into this basement, if you would. Nope. Really, Austin? Oh man, she's sneaky. Thanks, Felicia. I've been out in the sun lately. Last couple of days. How could she sit there? I know, right? Well, look at it. I mean, look at the daughter. The daughter's sitting. Where's she at? Okay, I might have to exit out this picture and find it. You're like, and remember how they were like, they ruined our house. And I was like, no, y'all were hoarders beforehand. Look at this. They didn't even clean anything up. And now the door's wide open. She's sitting with the door wide open. She's aware, right? First off, the outfit. We're not even going to talk about it. But she's aware that inside that room, her father had papers of what to do when committing a murder and what not to do when committing a murder. It was his prepare sheet. It was like his little checklist he had. He would just take the little checklist with him. So he remembered to do everything on the list. Oh my God. You wouldn't even see me back in that house. No, if that was my father, that house would be burnt to the ground. I would have burned it down myself. I would have done it myself. Oh my gosh. These guys are crazy. We got to watch it. Everyone's got to watch it and then report back. The daughter does say she thinks her dad did it. But her DNA was found, wasn't it? Wasn't her DNA? Pretty sure it was. Trying to think of what it was on. But she got dragged in there somehow. I don't know. Man. So I guess there's a new list. That's what the Long Island serial killer. It's on Peacock. So it's that's the Long Island serial killer or Gilgo Beach killer. You can either one. A lot of people call one or not, but yeah, they're pretty garbage people. They really are. It's like a documentary. Yeah. I have a playlist on it too. He's going on trial soon, but he is in New York, so we don't get to see like inside the courtroom, which stinks, but I am going to be following it. If you sign up, I think you could sign up and get like a couple days free with Peacock. Made funny noise, Araya. She's so cute. My dogs are so cute. My dogs are the cutest ever. And no one can tell me not. They're not. I can just hear him back there snoring. This one, Her eyes are rolling in the back of her head. Look at her paws. She's a big dog. Such a big dog. Okay. So yeah, we were just talking about this, about serial killers, and oh man, that just nope, got me. I want to go watch it. Like, what's up with them pants, girl? I want to read about the Luigi Mangione too. We can't watch, because it's in New York. Yep. Yeah, Felicia, cameras aren't allowed in the courtrooms there. I think that's so stupid. That's why we can't see Diddy and stuff. But when it comes to Luigi Mangione and Long Island, once they start going to on trial, I will be doing we don't get to watch it because it's in New York. So, but I'll make sure I keep you guys entertained with whatever we have. Like, I'll make sure I'm like staying up on it with my notes and everything throughout the day. Yeah, in New York, they just have a little issue with letting people in there. I'm assuming it's because New York, like, especially like, well, I guess in New York City, it's so populated. You can't really let the public come into a trial, because if you do, like, I mean, I don't know, that would be like hard to, tell everybody, no, you can't come in. But he does have a manifesto, and I'm going to see if I can get that manifesto and read it to you guys, because I want to go over that. Free Luigi merch coming soon. Yeah, that'll be the next person. I mean, they're going to. People are going to say free Luigi because he's an attractive millionaire that has a hurt back. I'm sorry, but a little bit of metal in your back is not going to make you kill people. I don't know what he was doing, who he's lying to, but I got metal everywhere. I've never hurt a person. Oh, before I get off here, I'll tell you about my fly story. Y'all remember I had that massive fly in here last night? I could have used a couple fly strips or something, but just kidding. I don't use those. Those are, no. The dogs were trying to get the fly. So Araya thought it was a bee, so she was on it, and Mia was mimicking Araya, which was really cute. She was just biting air. She didn't even know where to bite. So I get off the live last night, and I almost broke a mirror when I was on the live last night trying to get this fly. Like, I wasn't going to get it. So I get up, I'm turning out all my lights. I go to turn off that candle burner, and guess what was in the candle? The fly. He killed himself. He thought that candle smelled good. I didn't get him, but that candle did. So if you need a good candle, my store, Poppy and Ari, they have the best. It'll even help get rid of your flies. They'll just love the smell. Really? He would have unalived himself. Oh, not. I was like, I mean, I can understand the pain because I have metal, foot, face. The face is a lot. The legs, the wrist. They took the wrist out, but I wouldn't. I mean, and I've been in pain, but I would never hurt anybody like that. The candle did my dirty work. Yeah, I just took the candle and poured the wax out, and the little fly went out, and I was like, sorry, fly. Not really. I hate flies. I hate them so much. But we have a back balcony. So sometimes I'll leave the door open for a little while, and I'll let my cat go out because he's like 17 or 18, maybe not older, 19. I don't know how old he is. He's older, but he likes to go out and sit and look at the birds and listen to them. So I let him go out there because I know that nothing can get him out there right there. So yeah, he will have a bigger fan club because he has more money than BK too. If you think about more money coming into him already, so yeah, shoe fly don't bother me. I don't know if they really work for some mosquitoes, but I've heard that what is that stuff called? Skin So Soft, from Avon. I don't even know if they still have Avon, but I used to hear that worked really well. And now on animals too, for fleas and stuff. You heard it here first. My dog wouldn't let me spray him with nothing. She gets scared of everything. She was barking at a stroller today. I told the lady, I said, I'm so sorry. She's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, me. I'm sorry. You have a baby in there. And my dog's barking like an idiot. But I'll be back on tomorrow night to discuss one of the cases we're discussing. I'm hoping they get this Travis Decker and we can come on and do a live about that. But I'll be on. I might come on during the day tomorrow. It depends. I know I'm going to get a hold of True Crime Lullabies because she's going to help me do the Discord. That way I can get it all ready for you guys and we'll have it all set up. So I will be working on that. I will be working on emojis. I was trying to set up some emojis tonight during the live when we were watching the podcast, but it said it had to be a certain like ratio and I don't know how to do that yet. So I'll have to have Vincent show me how to do that part. But because he made all the emojis except for the one emoji I made the other night. So I'll be back tomorrow. So don't forget while you're exiting or if you're on a replay, hashtag replay or hit the like button, share the video out if you guys don't mind to your social platforms. It really helps the channel. And I will see you guys all tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out.